eukaryotic cell, that is animal cell. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
here we can see
Yes, sir.
this is
Yes,
an
sir.
animal cell which is devoid of the cell wall. Animal cells do not have cell wall. So the outermost layer here in this case is the plasma membrane. As we have discussed, the plasma membrane, it is selectively permeable. Selectively permeable means it is something like that, for a particular function, like we have someone kept on the gate like a watchman. He allows selected guest to enter and he checks the other person will not enter inside a, or will not enter that hall or that particular area. That is the function of plasma membrane. It decides which molecule will gain entry inside a cell and which will not move across the membrane. And for that it has, we'll have to discuss about its structure. So in case with prokaryotic cell, we have discussed that this plasma membrane is bilayer structure having two layers. It is made up of phospholipids, phosphate heads and fatty acid tails. So fatty acid, we know that they are hydrophobic in nature and they try to avoid the contact with the water. So this hydrophobic tails, they are avoiding the contact of water and they are inwardly present, or they are present on the interior side. So both the ends, that is outer and inner, they are having phosphate group on it, and the hydrophobic tails is present in the central region. Now next to the plasma membrane, this particular area we can see is the cytoplasm. This cytoplasm, it contains several organelles that we can see here. It do have peroxisome, it has your mitochondria, it has endoplasmic reticulum, it has Golgi apparatus, free ribosomes, lysosomes, centrioles, etc. What this cytoplasm does, it helps in the movement of molecules and organelles within and outside the cell. If the cell was a rigid structure, then it all would have been at a fixed position. But the cytoplasmic or cytosolic fluid, we can say, it helps in that movement. So within a cell, from one organelle to another organelle and across the cell, that is from a cell to outside the cell, this movement can be done with the help of cytoplasmic fluid. So this is the central region that we can see is the nucleus. This nucleus, which is shown here in purple color, it is having the nucleus in it, or it is having the DNA present in it. So this nucleus is double membrane structure. The membrane which is present on the outer side is called as nuclear outer membrane. The membrane which is present on the interior side is called as a nuclear inner membrane, and the space between these two, outer and inner nuclear membrane, is perinuclear space. Now this nuclear membrane is not continuous. It has small openings over there. If you have observed this carefully, after a particular time span, here we can find some small openings. So they are regarded as nuclear pores. So these pores, they are like holes in the nucleus and which help in the exchange of biomolecules and other materials across this nuclear membrane. Again, with the help of some cytosolic components, the exchange of this molecule across this membrane can be seen, and this exchange is again regulated exchange. It is not so that something which is present in the cytoplasm will directly gain entry inside a nucleus, or the genetic material which is present in nucleus will directly come out of this nuclear membrane. So this is regulated movement across the nuclear membrane, and that is controlled by some proteins, and like ATP there are some GTPs, guanosine triphosphate, that helps the energy used after hydrolysis of GTP is used for the movement across this nuclear membrane. Nucleus, it carries the DNA. This DNA, unlike the prokaryotic cell, in case with eukaryotic cell, the DNA is distributed or divided into different chromosomes. In case with prokaryotic cell, the model organism E. coli, what we have discussed, there the genome was circular double-stranded DNA. Here the genome is linear and it is divided into different chromosomes. Like in case with the human beings, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes. So in nucleus we will find the DNA. Associated with DNA there are some proteins, basic proteins, they are histone proteins and some histone like other proteins, the basic proteins. Within a nucleus we will also find the enzymes responsible for the process of replication, the machinery, the proteins required for the process of transcription, the small rRNAs, they can be seen in case with the nucleus. So nucleus, it houses the genetic material and the proteins required for the process of replication and the proteins required for the process of transcription. After the DNA is transcribed, it forms mRNA. That mRNA is regarded as an hnRNA or heterogeneous RNA, which is further processed, that is 5' capping, 3' polyadenylation, RNA editing and removal of intron and joining of exons, that is splicing, exon splicing. So after this modification, that hnRNA or heterogeneous RNA is converted into mature RNA. Now why this modification is required in case with eukaryotic cell? Because the microenvironment, यहाँ पर as what we are seeing here is this nuclear membrane, it makes a different environment inside this organelle, which is different that from the cytoplasm. And we know that RNA, it has comparatively, it has small shelf life, it can be easily degraded. So in order to extend the lifespan of RNA and protect it from the hydrolytic enzymes that are present in the cytosol, this mRNA is processed and then transferred from nucleus to outside the nucleus. Now this can be transported again with the help of energy in the form of GTP. So energy can be used here in the form of GTP. Like ATP, GTP also produce the same amount of energy. Using that energy and some other transport protein, some exporting proteins are required over there. That helps in the movement of that mature mRNA from nucleus to outside the nucleus into the cytoplasm. Now this RNA then are recognized by the ribosomes. Now this ribosomes, like we have discussed in prokaryotic cell, eukaryotic cell also have ribosomes. In prokaryotic cell, the ribosomes were 70S, made up of two different subunits. The smaller subunit was 30S and larger subunit was 50S. In case with eukaryotic cell, it is 80S, made up of two different subunits. The smaller subunit is of 40S and larger subunit is of 60S. This S is the sedimentation coefficient. This 60S and 40S, they interact with one another only in presence of mRNA, and it forms the complete ribosome. So this ATS ribosome, it starts the process of translation. Now this translation can be carried out by free ribosomes, which are present here. This small dot like structures, they are the ribosomes. So the translation can be carried out by free ribosomes, or if the protein is of secretory nature, that is secretory proteins, they are taken up to the endoplasmic reticulum, and the ribosomes associated with the endoplasmic reticulum, what it does, it transfers that mRNA, or takes that mRNA to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the process of translation, that is protein synthesis, it completes into the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. That is within the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum the process of translation takes place. Now endoplasmic reticulum, as we have discussed, its main function is it helps in the process of synthesis of secretory proteins. Secretory proteins are the proteins which can function outside the cells. Not necessarily the secretory proteins will go outside the cells only. Even some proteins which are functioning within a specific organelle present in an eukaryotic cell, they are expressed or they are synthesized using this pathway, that is endoplasmic reticulum followed by Golgi apparatus. Now within the endoplasmic reticulum the protein synthesis takes place. After that the newly formed protein is further transferred to the Golgi apparatus. Now this Golgi apparatus, what it does is it tags or it attaches a tag, or we can say that as like an address tag, it attaches some markers on it onto the surface of proteins, and after that through this we call that in molecular biology we call it as a COP2 pathway, coated protein second pathway, that is nucleus to ER and ER to Golgi. So if a protein moves through this pathway, that protein is regarded as secretory protein, and then this Golgi, it destines the function or it decides the function of that protein where it will go and execute the function. One thing we have discussed in our earlier class also, that is DNA, they are the genetic material, they carry genetic information, and proteins, they are the functional molecules, they execute the function, they carry out the function within or outside the cell. So DNA, it carries information, and proteins, they execute the function. So proteins, they will only execute the functions at a most of one time. Now we have discussed about nucleus, we have discussed about endoplasmic reticulum, we have discussed about Golgi, we have also discussed about the ribosomes. Next organelle is the centrioles. It helps in the cellular division process. We know during the process of mitosis, the chromosome, when allowed to divide or allowed to replicate, first of all it forms the 2 copy. Within a cell cycle we know that there is G1S G2, that G1S G2, they are interphase. After the completion of interphase, the cell enters into the division phase, that is mitotic division, mitotic or meiotic division depending upon the type of cell. So in M phase or division phase, there are several different subphases like prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, which is followed by cytokinesis. So here what happens in prophase, the nucleus is the DNA is thread like structure, it starts condensing. Prophase is followed by metaphase, where the chromosomes are in their condensed state, that is they are in the structure which we can see under the microscope. In metaphase, the chromosomes are centrally aligned to a metaphasic plate, and to this, from the two ends, the kinetochore to the kinetochore region from centriole, some tubulins or some cytoskeleton component proteins, they are emerging, and what they does is they move this chromatid, the sister copies or sister chromatids, away from one another. So for doing that, it requires energy again, and the centriole helps in that movement. So metaphase is followed by anaphase, where these sister chromatids are separated, they are taken away from one another, followed by telophase, which is further followed by cytokinesis, wherein the